All right, let's get into it. Today, we are breaking down an absolutely insane, high-damage, full auto strategy for one of Raid's toughest bosses, the Chimera. We're talking about a blueprint that can push out some truly ludicrous damage, so let's just dive right in. First off, you gotta respect the boss itself. I mean, the Chimera, it's not just some big, dumb monster. It's this terrifying, form-switching nightmare. You're basically fighting a lion, a ram, and a viper all at once, and each one has its own nasty bag of tricks. And that final attack, the one that tries to just rip all your buffs right off, yeah, that makes just trying to brute force it pretty much impossible. You need a way, way smarter approach.
So, that's the big question, right? How do you build a team that doesn't just survive this thing, but can actually pump out billions of damage on a single full auto run? Well, the whole strategy, and I mean the entire thing, it's built on the incredible synergy between two very specific champions.
And here they are. The whole strategy is built on this exact duo, Titus and Wixwell. Seriously, think of them as the engine that powers this whole operation. You've got Titus as your big damage dealer, and then you have Wixwell, who is his ultimate enabler. The whole thing, and I mean the whole thing, just falls apart if these two aren't working in perfect harmony.
Okay, so the secret sauce to this whole setup is getting your head around how Titus's damage actually works. It's not just about his personal stats, not at all. It's all about his A2 skill, Ravenblade. The damage it does is based on the total value of the shield buffs on your entire team. It's that simple. The bigger your team's shield, the more absolutely devastating his hit is going to be.
And let me be super clear about the difference we're talking about here. This isn't just some small boost, okay? This one mechanic is what takes Titus from doing, respectable damage to landing game-breaking multi-million point hits with a single skill. This right here is the key to those billion damage runs we're talking about.
And that is why Wixwell is absolutely 100% essential. He's totally irreplaceable in this setup. See, he doesn't just place shields. His A2 skill, it actively grows them. He literally takes the shields you already have and just makes them massive, directly supercharging Titus's damage potential every single time he uses that skill.
So what you get is this really simple but totally devastating damage loop. Step 1, you apply some shields, maybe from gear, maybe from another ability. Step 2, Wixwell comes in and grows those shields to an enormous size. Then, your support crew extends their duration so they just never fall off. And finally, boom, Titus unleashes Ravenblade for absolutely insane damage. And then you just rinse and repeat. The shields get bigger, the damage gets bigger. It's a beautiful thing.
Okay, so we've got our engine. Now let's talk about building the rest of the team around it. Because that Titus Wixwell core, it's incredibly powerful, for sure. But it needs a really skilled support crew to keep it running smoothly and, protect it from everything the Chimera is going to throw at you. So you've basically got 3 essential jobs that need to be filled. First, you need buff extenders. These guys are critical for making sure your shields stay up for the whole fight. Second, a debuffer. This is just non-negotiable if you want to maximize Titus's damage. And third, you need a resistance buffer. This is your insurance policy against the Chimera trying to steal those precious shields you've been growing.
So, who can we plug into these roles? Well, for buff extenders, champs like Krisk or Osella are just top tier. Osella is great because she also brings that crucial increased resistance buff we need. Then for your debuffer, somebody like Lydia is just perfect for slapping on decreased defense and weaken. And hey, if you're lucky enough to have a mythical like Androck, he's a fantastic all-in-one support who can kinda do it all.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The blueprint. We're talking about the specific gear, the specific stats you absolutely need to make this team work on full auto, especially against the highest difficulty. Okay, you're going to want to pay really close attention here, because these are the critical benchmarks for Ultra Nightmare. For speed, pretty much everyone needs to be over 305 so you can go before the boss. For resistance, you need at least 375, that's the base. And you can see we've got some very specific requirements for your designated tanks. We'll get to exactly why in just a minute.
Now, getting the gear right is absolutely non-negotiable. A 6-piece merciless set on Titus, that's the dream. It lets him ignore defense, and crucially, it reduces his cooldowns, which just means more Ravenblades, more damage. You also absolutely need a shield set on one of your supports. That's what gives Wixwell that initial shield to start growing. And yeah, protection sets are fantastic for just boosting everyone's damage and survivability across the board.
555. Remember that number because it's your magic number for resistance. See, the Chimera's Viper and Ultimate forms have super high accuracy. So, to consistently resist their attempts to steal your buffs, you need to get over that 555 threshold. The easiest way to get there? Start with a base of 375 resistance, and then get an increased resistance buff from someone like Owella or Androck. That'll push you right over the top. But look, having the right stats, that's only half the battle. The real key, the secret to making this all work, is using those stats to manipulate the boss's AI. You have to control the fight. So first up, you've got the Ram form. This one's easy, it's totally predictable. It will always attack the champion on your team that has the absolute lowest critical damage. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And then there's the Lion form. Just as predictable. It is programmed to target and unleash a massive hit on whichever champion on your team has the single highest defense stat. Simple as that.
And that right there, that's the core of our whole survival strategy. We decide who the boss attacks. By carefully building our team stats, we can make absolutely sure that the main target is never our damage dealer, Titus.
So how do you do it? It's actually pretty straightforward. Step 1, you build your debuffer, let's say it's Lydia, to have the lowest crit damage on the whole team. Step 2, you build a super tanky support like Owella to have the absolute highest defense. What does this do? It forces the Ram to attack Lydia, and it forces the Lion to attack Owella. Titus, he's left completely untouched. Oh, and one last thing. This is super important. You must go into your AI presets and turn off Titus's A2 against the Ram form. If you forget this, he will literally one-shot himself on its reflected damage. Don't make that mistake.
Okay, so let's recap. You've assembled the Titus Wixwell engine. You've got your support crew in place. You've hit all your stat thresholds. You've even manipulated the boss's AI to do exactly what you want. When you put all of those pieces together, the result is just, well, it's staggering.
Yeah, that is not a typo. That's 10 billion with a B. Teams that are built using this exact blueprint can put up 10 billion damage or even more in a single Chimera Clash run. The damage potential is it's completely off the charts.
So let's just recap the blueprint one last time. It's simple, really. You've got your engine, Titus and Wixwell. You've got your crew, buff extenders, debuffers, and resistance support. You've got your stats, hitting those key speed and resistance numbers. And you've got your control, manipulating the boss's targeting to keep Titus safe. That's the whole game plan.
And there you have it. That is the complete breakdown. Look, it's a complex build, and the gear requirements are pretty high. There's no doubt about that. But the payoff, you get one of the most powerful, full-auto boss teams in the entire game. And now, you have the blueprint to go out and build it for yourself.